You'll see it. We'll see it. Music, clips, a lot of stuff changed.
Alright.
I need to start a member stream too. Oopsie.
I'm gonna put up the tweet.
Thanks, man.
To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair.
Will you fight? No! We will run! And we will live!
Shame on you. This could be the greatest night of our lives. But you're gonna let it be the worst.
And I guarantee you, we both go by in your life. We both regret walking out, letting them get the best of it.
Well, I'm not going home.
Day may come when the courage of men fails, but it is not this day.
Here! This far, no farther!
I'm not saying it's gonna be easy.
You're gonna work harder than you ever worked before.
But that's fine, we'll just get tougher with it.
A person who grits his teeth and shows real determination.
Failure is not an option.
That's how winning is done. Believe me when I say
We can break this army here.
And win just one, and I get one.
Look, I say to you, what every warrior has known since the beginning of time.
you've got to get mad!
I mean plumb mad dog made.
If you would be free men, then you must
Fight to fulfill that promise. Let us
cut out their living guts.
1 inch at a time.
And they will know what we can do!
Let no man forget how menacing we are. We are lions.
Like a big bear, man.
This is your time. Seize the day. Never
Victory or death.
Who's with me?
Clap! Clap! Don't let him die! Clap!
All right, let's fly.
And gentlemen in England, now our bed shall
No, my name is the Lord.
When I tell our enemies that they may take our lives, but they'll never take
Our Independence Day.
You, the people, have the power. The power to create machines. The power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful. To make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world.
to build stamina, energy to do our thing. Get your camera. This show is about to begin, so sit down and buckle it in. Let's go! Hey everybody, my name is Brian, that is Shane. You are watching Pop Culture Unleashed every Monday and Thursday at 4 p.m. Yes, we changed the time, and that's okay, because I am happy to be back on Thursday nights. This is where we started, Shane. Do you recall?
It is. We started way back in the day doing the Pickle Party on Thursday nights, actually, just before the Orville Season 1 was about to air.
That's right. So, you know what? In honor of that, welcome to the Pickle Party.
Yeah, welcome to the Pickle Party. Yeah, we decided we want to switch it up a little bit. A lot of people were not able to watch the show on in the morning times, and we figure this is going to reach more people, hopefully on the West Coast and the East Coast. So you can expect us Monday and Thursdays at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time each week. We got that. Also, if you guys love our clip shows, make sure you guys subscribe to a new channel. We got a new channel where all of our clips are going, and we'd love for you to go over there after the show and subscribe for us. That's Pop Culture Unleashed. What is it?
The name of the channel is Pop Culture Unleashed Clips, but the actual link is PCU Clips. And I'll show you right now.
PCU Clips. All right.
Yeah, this one right here. Go check it out. That's where we're putting all the clips.
That's where all the clips are going. So if you happen to miss a live show, you can always, of course, you can watch it here, or you can just check out the clips over there. And we appreciate you guys so much. Brian, how has your week been going?
Not bad. A big reason we launched the clip channel was so that we can keep our live streams here open and free for everyone. Because people weren't able to watch them. And clips and live streams just don't mix. They don't mix. They're like oil and water.
Well said. Really well said. Also, we're going to be talking about some really cool stuff today. I was actually before we started going live, I was in the middle of watching the Tucker Carlson Vladimir Putin interview, and was really enjoying that. So hopefully we'll be able to talk a little bit about that next show. Have you had a chance to see it?
No, I'm not. No.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Big history lesson at the beginning of it.
Oh, well, great.
From Vladimir Putin.
Then we can talk about it on Monday. Then that'd be fun.
For sure, 100%. But before we do that, we have a sponsor for this show, Mr. Brian.
Oh, we do.
We do. We have a sponsor. Our good friends over at Criticless. So today's show is brought to you by Criticless. If you can pop it up. Criticless was created when it became obvious that pretentious film critics weren't being honest about their reviews and seemed to be catering to the film studios to get more access to films instead of giving reviews, to just the regular people. Criticless is a website, an app with reviews from real people. We love Criticless and have started creating our reviews there. You can go check them out. We'd love for you to download the app and follow us there. You can see our most recent review of Argyle over there, the movie. As well as our current list of 2024 movies. Brian and I are both keeping a list of our favorite movies. So you can see as they come out where they rank in our list. As a social media experience, Criticless is a great place to share your thoughts and reviews with others. The retro 80s and 90s look is easy to use and is a great way to quickly see movie ratings and themes that include political bias. So if you want to know if a movie or show is woke, you can go there and find out. Earn achievements and badges for doing various things on the platform. So get over there and join us today. See the reviews from people you trust, like us and others.
Craigslist.com. And I'm actually wearing one of the shirts today. Look at that.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. He likes me more than he likes you, so.
What's that?
He likes me more than he likes you, so he sent me a shirt.
I don't blame him. I don't. I'm not exactly the warm and cuddly type, so like Brian, very, very warm and cuddly.
So we are talking about some interesting stuff today. Of course, the Gina Carano and Elon Musk lawsuit holding Disney accountable. Coincidentally, their stock just went up, so we'll be talking about that too. Pirates of the Caribbean 6, the new casting for that is pretty insane, and Ginger Side, because that's an actual thing. And I can't wait to explore that with you, Shane, because I think there's some things there you weren't 100% aware of. I think you're going to be shocked.
Well, what'll shock me is if any of it is actually true, because after doing some more research, I found out that our good friend Daniel Reitman is behind that rumor. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers stock crashed, hit single digits. Not a great sign.
Shocker. Studios are not doing well, folks.
And we're talking a little bit about why that's happening, because I have some theories. I'm sure Shane does too. And of course, the weekly weird. Anything else? Anything I missed, Shane?
No, I think that's probably good enough. We'll be talking a little bit about the Disney stuff going into their new gaming stuff that they're decided to get into, which is why the stock is blowing up today.
Yeah. They're gonna mess up Fortnite now. I'm sure my kids will be stoked.
Well, yeah. They were already a part of it, but it's a whole thing.
Yeah. So you know what? We're just gonna jump right into it. I'm glad everyone's here today. If you're on the stream, if you're actively watching, hit that like button. Let's get these likes up to about what the views are, and we can push out this stream and rock and roll.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I just love, I don't know if you guys are out there on social media at all. I know for the most part, it's just a giant cesspool. And it's difficult sometimes to even wade into the bullshit that's kind of going on out there. But if you are hanging out on X, previously known as Twitter, when are we going to stop saying X, previously known as Twitter?
Never.
It's like, do you think it'll ever stop? Like, people are still going, Twitter. I'm just going to start calling it X from now on. Let's just call it that.
It's very hard for me.
Do you want to be the brave, the bold, the first?
I still default to a Twitter in my mind, and I can't get away from it. It doesn't help too. Like, all the links are all still like Twitter. It's not like X.com or whatever.
But Twitter gives me, like, when I think of Twitter, I think of like this leftist military government organization. So it's not thinking about Twitter as that blue bird and thinking of it in that terms. I can think of it as X, and X is like this edgy, freedom of speech, F the police and the government and everybody. So that's the way I'm looking at it. And of course, we know that Elon Musk owns X. That's such a crazy story. Like, the fact that he accidentally bought it. This whole thing is, when we look back at the story of how all this happened, and now like he's basically attacking Disney, like this whole thing is like outrageous. It's a movie in itself, right? If you really think about it, it really is. So apparently Gina Carano has been planning, and for very good reason, has been planning to sue Disney for being fired from The Mandalorian. And she announced it on Twitter, and she also announced that essentially Elon Musk was footing the bill, was actually taking care of her legal against Disney. And of course, we know there is no love lost between Elon Musk and Disney and Bob Iger right now, especially since what happened only a short time ago when he basically told Bob to F off, and anybody who didn't want to advertise on X. While Bob was sitting there in the room with him. Right. So that was quite interesting.
Bob was in the room. He's like,
yeah, hey, Bob, what's up? Yeah, it was like, hey, what's up?
Hey, how you doing, Bob?
Yeah, so Elon definitely is one of these guys. He doesn't have a governor, and he's pissed. He's pissed because, people took the thing that he retweeted as anti-Semitic, and maybe perhaps it was. I really don't know. I couldn't get the context of whether it was anti-Semitic or not. He didn't mean it to be anti-Semitic, but whatever. And so all these people took that opportunity to bail on advertising on the platform, and it pissed him off. So now he's pretty much F Disney and everything. And with Gina Carano suing Disney, since it's a freedom of speech issue, Elon Musk is all in. He's all in on anything with freedom of speech. In fact, he put out a tweet after supporting Gina Carano saying, listen, if you have been discriminated against by Disney, and he put out the tweet, please contact us. Let us know. We'll be happy to do it. I mean, we jokingly put out a tweet recently saying, is it time for, and this was before he sent this tweet out. I tweeted out, is it time for a Disney class action lawsuit?
Right.
Because Kumail Nanjiani said that he was going to therapy sessions over what happened, the bad reviews of Eternals. And as we all know, the Eternals is a terrible movie because Disney screwed it up. So that's Disney's fault too, right?
Well, I mean, the way they screwed it up was they gave way too much control to, some director, right? Like they picked a creative. I mean, it's not Disney's fault, I guess. It's
100% Disney's fault. They shouldn't have made the movie.
They shouldn't have made the movie, but they also gave control to someone who wasn't a fan, had no track history with any kind of superhero movies. She had only ever done you know, not remotely that genre, whatever it was. And she tried to once again twist the movie into her vision, and it didn't fit at all with what the rest of Marvel was.
Well, it's obvious. I mean, it's a joke, of course. Kumail obviously doesn't want to sue Disney. He wants to keep working. But it's just funny because, you know, with all the things that coming against Disney and everything that they've been doing to try to, you know, kind of create their own narrative on things, it's been time. It's time for Gina to go in and sue. I mean, the reason why she's suing is for wrongful termination. I don't know if you can pull up the tweet that she put up there. Very long tweet, actually. But she kind of goes through it. And we've been following the Gina Carano story, you know, since the beginning. She essentially was fired for commenting that current politics, current American culture is reminiscent of Nazi culture, right? So to some degree. That was the big comment that got her fired from The Mandalorian. And one of the things that she's claiming is not only, you know, being wrongfully terminated for public comments, that it wasn't anything against Disney, wasn't anything against, you know, the show she was doing. It was just a social commentary. Besides being sued for that or being fired for that, she's basically claiming that, well, look, there were some guys who said the exact same things, but they weren't fired, nor were they even reprimanded. And so, of course, they're talking about, you know, Mark Hamill, and of course, Mark Hamill and Pedro Pascal. And the reasons why they didn't get in trouble is because they were on the other side of the spectrum, basically saying that the conservative movement or the left movement was the Nazis. So they didn't get in trouble. But as soon as she said that the left side was, so it became, you know, political pandering, basically. And she was fired, wrongfully so. Brian, so what are your thoughts on the fact that she's getting fired, that Elon Musk has decided to back her, and what do you think about the future of this?
Well, I find it interesting that this whole thing, when it first came out, you know, a lot of people were calling BS on the fact that Pedro Pascal can tweet, you know, basically calling, you know, tweet that any conservative or Republican was basically a Nazi, because that's what he said. He had I'm trying to find it right now. I guess he deleted it, which is, you know, fitting. But he basically compared anyone now that's a conservative, anyone wearing a red hat, to what a Nazi symbol was, which is incredible. It's incredibly offensive to anyone who has like traditional conservative beliefs. No one, of course, I'm sure we complained about it, but no one on that side even reprimanded the guy. This is the same guy, and I found it. Thank God for the internet. Nothing is ever lost here. But this is what he wrote. This was his tweet. Losers in 1865, losers in 1945, losers in 2020, and he has the red hat.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine he can post that, you know, and essentially call an entire group of people, half of the United States, Nazis, but he doesn't get reprimanded.
I mean, here's the comparison quote, you know, around the same time from Gina Carano. We need to clean up the election process so we are not left feeling the way we do today. Put laws in place that protect us against voter fraud. Investigate every state. Film the counting. Flush out the fake votes. Require ID. Make voter fraud end in 2020. Fix the system.
Well, those are one of them. That's not what she got fired for.
But it was around the same time, though, right?
Yeah, she was having a lot of this rhetoric. She came out as one of those very rare Hollywood people who weren't afraid to, you know, to be conservative or to have conservative point of views. I mean, frankly speaking, anybody who might be leaning to the right in Hollywood at all, they're freaking terrified of being outed and being found out to have any sort of values other than this leftist mentality. So, but one of the reasons why Gina's doing this, of course, is I don't understand exactly why. In her tweet, she talks about that she wants basically to be recast in the shows that she was supposed to be recast in.
I think can I add something to that?
Sure, please.
I believe that ask is when you ask for something you know they're not going to give you, but then they go, you know, we'll give you this money instead or something like that. I think it's one of those things where you are asking for more than you want so that they meet you where you actually want.
You have to, I guess, maybe from a judicial point of view, you have to be willing to, you know, get back what it is you lost, if possible.
I didn't.
Of course, they're
verbalize
never
that
going to
correctly.
hire her. What's that?
I did not verbalize that very well.
No, I think to some degree, I think that's probably what it was. But one of the things that Elon put out when he basically, just before he put out the support for Gina, he put out this memorandum that was sent to him, the Disney's General Entertainment Inclusion Standards. Very colorful document that was sent to him that basically is a set of guidelines that Disney is holding people accountable for, right? They're expected to if they're going to work for Disney, they're expected to meet these inclusion standards. And we're not going to go through and read all these, but just to give you a basic idea, there's some interesting things here. I'll read off a couple of them. Standard A, on-screen representation. Characters, 50% or more of regular and recurring written characters need to come from underrepresented groups. As actors, 50% or more of regular and recurring actors need to come from underrepresented groups. And what it says basically in this category is that 3 of the 5 of those bullet points need to be met in order for a production. So like say The Mandalorian or Moana or whatever it is they're doing. If they don't meet these requirements, they're failing to meet the standards that Disney expects, these inclusion standards.
So yeah,
and if you
can I look quick look at this? So 3 of the 5, check marks need to be hit before it works, before you can create your TV show or your movie, right? Every one of these are basically forcing storytellers and writers and creatives into a very narrow path. It's going to definitely, and this is probably what's already been happening, right? It's going to damage your ability to tell a story if you are attempting to meet 3 of these requirements every single time you write something. And one more thing, it says written characters from underrepresented groups. At this point, what is underrepresented? Because,
anybody who's not a white male is underrepresented.
Well, I would argue in Hollywood, they're overrepresented at this point. It's crazy.
Right. Well, according to the numbers that came out this year, women only make up 47% of all roles. And according to them, the black actors only make up about 16% of roles. So they're saying they're still underrepresented. But the point is that you're right. What is an underrepresented group? Essentially, it's non-white men,
right?
Not anybody but that. So what they're saying here in this thing is that they want more than half. And we're not talking about just actors. We're not talking about just secondary characters. We're talking about producers, writers. We're talking about line directors. We're talking about the people who bring the food. We're talking about the people who do training. All of this goes through this entire list. They really want there to be a greater than 50%, essentially, women or minority groups. That's what they're looking for as their inclusion standards. So when you look at this for face value and you look at these, like, this is what they want to achieve. I wouldn't say by itself on its face, it's wrong to say, look, we want our business to be a cross section of all people, right? There's nothing wrong with that necessarily.
Right.
Where you come into the problem is when you start to do things like the next thing that Elon Musk tweeted out right behind that, which was a list of documents. And it was a Q&A basically based on this document. People who said, well, wait a second. The essentially what happened was Disney said, listen, we're going to create a database. Okay. We want all of you people who work in Disney, whether you're actors or whether you work here, whatever you do, we want you to fill out this document that basically says who your name is. We want you to say, where you're from, include, what your he, she, him, her, whatever your things are, right? And we want to put all this in a giant Bible, right? And that way, because we want these directors and producers and people running these shows, we want them to somehow meet these inclusion standards. We're going to give them a Bible of people that they can choose from, right? And we want to keep track of everybody so that we get an idea that we have some equality standards being met here at Disney. That essentially. And so what happened was people started sending back these replies. We're like, well, whoa, wait a second. Like what does this mean, right? What's going to happen to me if I don't do it? Does this mean if I don't fit into one of these minority groups, am I not going to have a job, right? These kind of questions came up. and to the credit, a lot of people are going to say, well, Disney's forcing.
Yes.
A lot of people are going to say Disney's forcing that's the case in fact. But in reality, what this document goes through and says is that that's not the case. You won't be fired. You won't lose your job. Sort of.
You just won't be hired, right?
Right. So it's like you're not going to lose your job. But as we've attested to a lot of people we've talked to in Hollywood who've been told, who are your diversity hires?
Right. Yeah.
Come on. Who are they?
Who are
So
they?
we want the list. Give us the list of names.
Give us that list.
Yeah, and these people are terrified of not, we got to have our diversity hires. So they go through this entire list and they kind of explain, no, listen, we want the best person to be hired for the job, but we just want to make sure that every group is being representative and that everybody gets a chance at it. So, and if for some reason, if you're a producer or a director, you can't find like a diverse person, that's okay. You don't hire the best person for the job, but we're going to give you these training tools and we're going to show you how next time you need to be able to select the right person. It's interesting. If you go through and read all of these documents, essentially they're creating this big Bible, and while they may be saying that it's not, they're going to hold people accountable for it specifically, it is a tool with which to hold people accountable and to make choices with.
100%.
It is definitely a tool that can be used that way. So once you go down the road of trying to, check boxes and force people to be in roles based on their gender or their sex or their race or their creed or whatever it is, once you start going down that road, it's just a slippery slope of not hiring the right people for the jobs. And then we end up with the situation where movies aren't as good as they could be, or TV shows aren't as good as they can be because they're more worried about keeping their jobs. All of these creatives aren't saying, well, I really saw this kid who was in Broadway last week. Hey, he was really great for the role, but he's a white guy. I can't hire him, and so that person doesn't get the job.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's something too, like it's sort of racist too to assume that anyone with pale skin is just a white guy. When I worked for a guy in LA that definitely had lighter skin than me, but he was as Jewish as it gets. He was extremely Jewish.
No, that's good. If you're Jewish, you're set. You're good right now. Well, or maybe you're not.
I'm not sure. It depends on your color of your skin. How light are you? One thing about this document that actually drives me a little nuts too, and I think not a lot of people aren't talking about this part, but B5 on standard B, and it says promotion of a member of an underrepresented group into a role that constitutes career progression for at least one member of the writing staff. So remember back in the day, I remember being in school and people talking about affirmative action, like, oh, this person was hired or promoted because of the color of their skin, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's literally what that is.
It is. It's another form of affirmative action. 100% true. Yeah, you're and a lot of the complaints back then were, well, I want a job too, but I don't have the right color skin. And the argument was, we need more, underrepresented groups. We need more people being hired for these jobs. So what would happen is they'd go in and just scoop up whoever was available. The one thing that they haven't bothered to check, it's, for example, like they said, 16% of all, one of the numbers that came out, 16% of all actors being hired for jobs were African-American, right? In 2022. The problem is how many, they never stop to think about like how many of each group actually want to do this thing. Like perhaps 16% is a huge number of, maybe that's 80% of all people who want to do it.
Right. Yeah. How many black people want to be like a key grip or something,
It's very difficult to say,
right.
Like,
well, we need people to work in craft services. I don't want to work in craft services.
I would.
I mean, no, I would. I'm talking about what if you don't have enough diversity or underrepresented groups to actually work in that specific in the job you're looking for? And some of these jobs, some people know that they're willing to do harder jobs because they want to work their way up. That's not always the case, especially considering the percentage of African American, males or whatever in the country versus other races. So what happens when you need that position filled and you can't find it because there's not enough people applying for that job. Like, are we going to start seeing ads that are like tailor-made for Hispanics or whatever, being like, come work in Hollywood? Well, there's a whole group of like light-skinned dudes out there being like, I'll work as a key grip.
Right.
I'll do lights. What do you need me to do? Like, it's just a silly thing. Not everyone from these underrepresented groups want to work in the trenches. They don't.
Right. And so, you should always hire the best person for the job, and even if they're like, let's say their purpose is, look, we just want more people to be, represented. We want the opportunity for people of color and different people to be able to get these kind of jobs. We don't want it to be the good old boys network, right? There's nothing wrong with saying that, but here's the problem. What is the purpose? This is one of the Q&As. What is the purpose of DGE's talent database? The talent database allows executives across Disney General Entertainment and Disney branded entertainment to locate and hire people across all fields in the industry for current and future work opportunities and events. Okay. If you choose not to fill out this database, okay, they just said they're going to use this database to hire future people, right?
Right.
If they don't, so what they're going to do is they're going to be picking people from here. And what's the point? They're trying to get more diverse people hired. So basically, they're only going to choose people from this database who are diverse. So, I mean, regardless of, whether or not you choose to do this or not, you're not going to have a job, A, if you're not in some sort of minority group, or B, if you don't fill out the form, because they're saying it's optional. It's optional, but you're not going to get hired, essentially.
Right.
That in itself,
it's optional.
That in itself is something that, if people are turned away I would absolutely sue the crap out of these people. If I had a job in Hollywood, or I'd been working for Disney for 10 years and I suddenly couldn't get a job doing something and I'm a white dude,
right?
Time to go to court.
Well, yeah. Think about this too. What about all the people that are just going to lie?
Well, but they're going to know. You can to some degree. I mean,
bro,
but they're going to know.
What race am I? Anyone know? Huh? Like, you're
white.
I'm definitely fluid enough.
You're 100% white.
Visually, in order to write down some things that do not reflect my racial background,
yeah, okay.
my ethnicity.
But let's say you put down Latino.
What if I just say I'm gay? How are you going to tell?
You could. No, you could. You're right.
Kiss
you
that guy in the mouth.
Now, you're going to have to, in Hollywood, as you know how it works, right? In order to roll around in certain, you better be ready to go all the way, Mr. Mom. You better be ready to go all the way if you're going to roll that way. So
we don't.
They're going to
believe
know.
You.
They're going to know.
Suck that, guys. What? I don't know if I want to be a key grip that bad.
Prove
dude.
it. Prove it.
Remember that scene from In the Army Now, where Pauly Shore and Andy Dick are trying to get out of going to war?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And they're like,
and they said they were gay,
and we're like, we're gay. And they're like, oh, okay, we totally understand, Private. Kiss him on the mouth. And they're like,
that was actually really funny.
They couldn't do it.
There was a lot of, when I was in the military, there were a lot of guys who said they were gay to get out. They did.
Yeah. Look at this.
Yeah.
This is pretty funny. Just a giant rainbow flag.
Oh, I mean, well, that's what they're representing.
I actually thought that was just official art for a while.
So what do you think the chances are here? Let's talk specifics. So what do you think the chances are that Gina can win? And why do you think Elon's willing to foot the bill?
Oh, Elon's willing to foot the bill because Elon is officially in the I don't give an F category of life. He's in his Act 2.5, where he's been damaged by way too many of these extreme liberals, and he has officially taken the red pill, and he's just like, I have so much money, and I don't care. I don't care. And I think that he's looking to once again keep his name out there, keep his personal stock growing, with freedom loving, free thinkers. And Gina Carano's case is probably a pretty easy case to get settled. I don't think she's going to win. I'm just being real. I don't think she's going to win, but I do think that they'll settle to get her to go away. I think with money like Elon, you have enough money where Disney can't just stomp you out instantly. And which means that they're probably not going to want to take this to the mat. It's going to end up costing a lot more for Disney to actually fight it than just to settle with Gina.
Well, she has a lot going for her in the fact that after Disney fired her, she really couldn't get a gig. She couldn't get other jobs. You know, a lot of people are saying, well, that's because, you know, some people are the reverse argument is, well, she wasn't good enough. That's why she got other jobs. No, the reason she got other jobs is because nobody would touch her. As soon as that happened with social media and Disney fired her, nobody else was going to touch her. So, I mean, you could argue if I were her, I'd go in big. I'd be like, Disney's going to need to pay me $100 million.
Right.
I figure that's what the lifetime of my value is.
What could I have made over all this time? But you completely damaged my budding career. And she had a budding career. Like, she was coming up. This was her breakout role. She could have done so much. There were other things that she was in talks for. I remember them talking about before all the controversy, where, you know, she could have been the next Ronda Rousey character on Fast, you know, of 12 or whatever, but not anymore. You know, it's funny. Archmage says something interesting. I doubt she'll win because morality clauses can mean anything they want, but hopefully, it'll just get some attention. Yeah,
it depends on who she gets as a judge.
The morality clause, that's like, it's so vague, and I'm so tired of these vague things. You know, you put some legal language at the end of a contract that allows them to do whatever they want depending on their personal feelings and not on actual facts. That's BS. That needs to be called out. Same with politicians when they put something in a bill that is so vague that it can mean whatever they want it to mean, and they can move the goalpost in real time for people legally, criminally, you know, in Hollywood. When it comes to funding, they can just move the goalpost depending on who they're dealing with and what their beliefs are at that moment. That's BS. The point of legal documents is it's supposed to black and white express and protect both parties. It's not supposed to allow you to adjust your thoughts depending on who you're talking to or dealing with. That's BS. She probably should have better representation when she signed that contract.
Well, Disney has a couple of bad things going for it. First off is the other tweets that were put out by other actors that didn't get that weren't basically chastised or fired for essentially the same comments, just on the opposite side of the aisle, right? Which shows a real bias for the Disney, the Disney HR process, anyways, right? But the other thing that's going in her direction is, she's got, the fact that that she's, come out and done this. They tried to get her to, they basically tried to recondition her. Right. So she has some evidence and some proof of the fact that they tried to get her together with Kathleen Kennedy and like a group of like 65 LGBTQ people that
worked there. She did an interview with Daily Wire, and it was a Zoom call, and there was like 60 people that were basically going to just chastise her for an hour. That's crazy.
Right. The idea was to shame her. So if you saw the movie Old Dads recently with what's his name?
Bill Burr,
and he's at the kindergarten. And the teacher wants him to like apologize. So he goes there to apologize to the teacher, but the teacher has like all the parents there, and she wants him to apologize to all of them, basically to be reconditioned. Same exact thing. You've seen that movie. Same exact thing that basically happened to Gina Carano. She, of course, didn't do it. She did offer to have like talks with the people, go to lunch, but they all didn't want to have nothing to do with that. So it was essentially Gina was told, get in line up, or you're going down, period. And she didn't line up. She wouldn't do what they wanted to do. And she got fired. So to me, if she has any proof of those things actually happening, I mean, unless, and of course, if she loses her case, she can always take it to the next court. Cause nowadays judges are just as politically motivated as any other. So we'll have to see what happens.
Which by the way, that is so terrifying to me. Like that was like the last line of defense against the whole left and right issue. The judicial branch needs to be, judges in particular, need to be completely impartial. Their decisions should not be based on their opinions or personal beliefs, but on the letter of the law. It's crazy that a lot of people are sitting back and applauding judges that are handing out verdicts without even allowing the defendant to plead their case because they don't like the person that's in court. That's nuts.
Well, that's the problem with political appointments and political appointments that aren't lifetime appointments. The reason why, the Supreme Court is so interesting is that no matter what happens, those judges are there forever, right? It can't change with the swing of that. Was a really great thing that our forefathers did, by the way, is by having like lifetime sentences or whatever you want to call it. But a lot of these circuit judges,
lifetime appointment.
Right. A lot of these circuit judges don't have this. So they have to bend to political whims. And, depending on if they want to reach the pinnacle of their success, they're going to need to keep politicians happy. And that's part of the problem there. So in my opinion, I think that I love the fact that Elon's doing it. I know a lot of people don't like Elon, but the one thing, regardless of whether you like the things he says or the things he does or the fact that he's a billionaire and you don't have anything and I don't have anything, regardless, the one thing about Elon that I think is most interesting is that he really says what he believes. And he really, it seems to me that he really seems to fight for things that seem unjust. So, I really appreciate somebody who, regardless of what the situation is, if it doesn't seem like it's right, then he really pushes back against it and tries to put some light on it. And if you follow him on Twitter, you can see a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, and to some of the people in comments where they called us like Elon Musk stans. I'll tell you right now, I am an Elon Musk fan, stan, whatever you want to call it. And I think it's because I think Shane and I both like the guy because we are able to read between the lines. People complaining that they were banned from Twitter/X and never unbanned. I don't think Elon Musk is sitting there personally looking at all the people that have been banned and unbanned. Maybe if your account was so low on the totem pole, just start a new one, dude.
Well, I mean, it doesn't. I don't even think that's what's important. What's important is that he's willing to. Who cares? Listen, if you got banned on old Twitter, he's not Jesus. He's not going to come in and resurrect the dead. Maybe you get back, maybe you don't, but you might just have to start over. Like Brian said. The point is
start over. But real quick, let me finish. Because also, the stuff that he says where he's like, oh, he's a hypocrite. He agreed with this, but he didn't do this. Elon Musk is also a person, but the moves he's making can only negatively affect him if the waters are not navigated precisely. And the guy is willing to do things that from our perspective only benefit other people and not him. And that's a big deal to us.
Right. Yeah. I don't think he cares about it's weird. He doesn't care about his personal benefit. I mean, and I don't want to make this the Elon Musk thing, but the whole point is he's pissed at Disney. So that's also helping him. Like, yeah, I'm going to support Gina Carano in this bullshit. Plus it's bullshit, plus they shouldn't, he's fighting against double standards. Like, and who that doesn't believe in justice and the right thing doesn't want, people that are fighting for justice, powerful people with lots of money who don't, he could just sit back and do whatever he wants to. He doesn't have to worry about this stuff. He doesn't have to put his feet in the fire, right? What famous, important, rich people are putting their feet in the fire for us regular folks? Nobody. Right? Nobody.
Yeah. Nobody's doing it, man. If I had that much money, I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't do it either. If I was as rich as Elon Musk, I wouldn't be going to the back.
You'd be on an island somewhere.
I wouldn't be going to the board for Gina Carano. I'm being honest. While I think this is horrible, we're going to talk about it. We're going to push it out there, and I support freedom of speech. If I had that much bloody money, I'd be on an island somewhere, completely away from the fray.
This is why he's better than you.
This is 100% why.
He's better than most of us.
He's so much better than me. I would completely disconnect and just do my own thing. Like, yeah, that's why he's better than me. Yeah, straight up.
There you go.
Our dad used to say, I can never be God because I would just kill most people. And I think
really? What he said?
Yeah, he said that. Because he would not be passionate enough to care for people if he had that kind of power. And, props for admitting that. And I'll admit you right now, if I had that much money and that much pull, I wouldn't be buying Twitter. I wouldn't be doing any of the stuff I'm doing. I wouldn't be telling Bob Iger to F off. I would not be doing these things. I would just disappear. You would, maybe a couple live streams when I felt like it.
All right. Well, we don't have to worry about you ever hitting the lottery, so we're good. We'll get you further.
No.
Yeah, so, I really am glad Gina's doing this. More people need to stand up for it. I mean, she really doesn't have anything to lose. Somebody else is paying her bill, and, she's standing up for something. And hopefully something will come from it, and Disney will have to face what they've done. The HR departments inside all of these studios, they're being run wild, man. They are completely unhinged. They're on their own programs. They've been given a green light, and nobody can slow them down. Not even the executives can slow them down anymore. We're going to talk more about that when Madam Web comes out, because we have a whole thing. I got a whole thing about how all this crap got started, why it got started, all this woke shit in Hollywood, and why it really is the way it is. But I want to save it until we talk about what happened with Madam Web and with Dakota Johnson, which we're going to save for I believe next Thursday. So.
Yeah, next Thursday. Yeah, Archmage, I would buy Stargate, and I would hire Gary Jones full time.
I'd do that.
I would hire Gary Jones full time just to announce me walking into a room and what I'm doing. He's pressing the microwave. Like, I would hire Gary Jones to be my personal.
I believe that.
Yeah, my personal announcer, my herald. My herald. That would be Chevron 7 locked. Hey,
all right.
Did you see this by chance, man? Did you see this by any chance?
I can't really see what it is.
Oh, it's
everything's all blurry when I look at it through this thing.
It's this executive, the Walt Disney executive, talking about her two pansexual kids, and
that she demanded more content for her LGBTQ kids,
right,
because they need more content. I mean, this is honestly what happens.
I don't want to put too much effort into this specific video, but there was a comment here that I thought was hilarious. Why do you need sign language when you have subtitles? Because there is subtitles burned into the video.
That is a really good point. Because we cannot leave off the disabled. They must know what's going on.
And what are the odds of you having as a straight woman having two LGBTQIA plus?
High in today's society. Almost all kids are LGBTQ.
Okay, sorry. What are the odds that you have them and they're naturally those things, and it's not
that they're actually those things,
right? And it's not a societal thing. That's the question.
No. Well, that's obviously
100% of your children. You are a raging blue-haired, crazy liberal, and it's just randomly that 100% of your kids are pansexual. Get out of here.
Half of all the kids that go to my kids' school are say they're LGBTQ.
But is it societal or is it actual?
Of course it is. We don't know. The whole point is we don't know what this woman's agenda is. And it's people like her that we're going to talk about next week are the reason why we're in the situation that we're in.
Kenneth just said the sign language is for the blind. That is good. You had me, bro. Thank you.
Well, what do they do for the blind and the deaf? I guess you're screwed.
Yeah,
there's nothing.
Yeah, you're not able to watch it.
Blind and the deaf and the mute.
Yeah.
Yes, and we want to say thank you to Kenneth LaRoque here, who's a member for 5 months. Thank you, Ken. Saw your sticker here. And Rec Thoughts for gifting 1 pop culture membership, and he got it to Penny, which I know is always the goal to get it to Penny. So
you got it to Penny. Good job. Thank you, Rec Thoughts. Also,
Orville Nation for $5. I was actually told the other day that I have to be a Biden voter in order to be an Orville channel.
Is that true? You gotta tell us that story later on. Bro.
Yeah, I don't think that would be the case, but
he also said that there's not enough diversity on the Popcast. That's
I know, and there's not. I mean,
but you don't get it.
I
identify as a young bisexual Latino man.
I feel that way sometimes. I feel like that from you.
So if I identify as that, is 50% enough?
I'm extraordinarily old and white though. And that means like 75%. And I take over the demographic way to the right. So right. I'm totally, it was funny. I was watching something with my wife the other night, and she was like, of course, she's not like up on all this stuff that's going on all the time. This whole she doesn't live in the woke world like
the culture
like
war.
I do, right? And she's like, what are they talking about? Like groups that are minorities, and of course, she's Latin, she's Latino, and I'm like, oh, babe, basically me, anybody other than me.
yeah.
I'm the most hated group in America.
Everybody but me.
And
then you wonder why. You get some of these people that are mad. They're like, "Hey, hold up! You're only talking about me."
It's frustrating, man. You know why it's frustrating? You want to know why it's frustrating for me? Because I'm a 50-year-old man who grew up in a time when I saw the injustices that were happening to other people around me. Not myself. Listen, I was kind of a poor white guy, but I didn't have injustices happening. Police weren't beating the shit out of me. I wasn't being, beat up as a gay guy by straight dudes who thought it was hilarious. I wasn't a black guy, in a whole school of white kids, giving them a hard time. I wasn't none of those things. Okay. But I saw those things happening and I was disgusted by them. And I tried to fight for those people when I could and support those people as I was growing up. And I always wanted to make sure that I wasn't that guy, that I was always the person who was supporting the people who were being, if somebody was being bullied, I was there to back up the person being bullied always.
Right.
So it really pisses me off to be the guy now who's like, oh, you're the asshole bully white guy. You are. It really pisses me off because I was never that guy. And sometimes I was telling Brian earlier, I think, a whole generation of people were born that totally forgot that anything happened before they were born. Okay. We already lived this. There are people who fought for this. There are people who did sit-ins in the 60s that were white people supporting black people. Okay. There are people out there of this color skin, right, who have always fought for equality and justice for everybody, regardless of your skin color.
We've always been anti-bully. Right.
I would appreciate stop being vilified as a race. Thanks.
Yeah. You know what? That's fair. That's fair. And get that to the top. Let people know.
I'm trying. This is about as high as it goes right here. YouTube.
Right. Okay. Next up, we are talking about. Unless you have something else to say, you good?
No. Let's talk about the Pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about Pirates of the Caribbean. Former Thunderbolt star, and I'm gonna murder this name. I'm sorry. Ayo Elderberry. That's not.
Do it
correct.
again.
Ayo Elderberry.
Elderberry.
I'm just gonna say Ayo Elderberry. Reportedly being eyed to lead new Pirates of the Caribbean movie. By the way, regardless of the gender bending, race bending aspect of it, she is not a good actress. They picked the wrong person. I did not like her. In the few of the new movies I've seen, she's just not a very good actress, from my opinion. She's very low key, and if you're gonna be in a Pirates movie, you have to be like sort of wild. You have to have that Margot Robbie, Johnny Depp energy to be in a Pirates of the Caribbean movie, to be the captain of a ship or whatever.
Well, let's go through the facts of what's happening here. And I think it's really important because whenever rumors come up, we don't want to just jump in bed with rumors. The first thing that came out was, here we go. Pirates of the Caribbean 6 is this young lady replacing Johnny Depp's Jack Sparrow. So that was the first thing that came out. Is basically Disney doesn't want Johnny Depp anymore. And this girl is the new Johnny Depp. Okay. Beep, beep, beep. That is definitely not true. So,
yeah, that's not true. That's not true.
The thing is like this is part of the problem with the culture wars. Like that's the first thing that people say is, oh, black girl. Okay. Gender replacement for Johnny Depp. Boom. That's the truth. And then that goes out there. And then there's like a percentage of the population that get all riled up about this and they retweet it or they re-Instagram it or they, whatever the hell they do. And then it becomes this narrative, but that's not the case at all. So
no, it's not.
First off, I don't even know if this is true. This is coming from Unlimited L's, which is I guess a behind the scenes Twitter account that has, predicted some stuff in the past. Daniel Reitman from Giant Frickin' Robot took credit for this. Also in the tweet.
Well, hold
and
up.
then said,
Whoa, back up.
And then said, join my, become a paid
Patreon?
member. My
Yeah,
Patreon.
join my Patreon. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. First off, for people that don't know, I'll be really clear. That guy is almost always wrong, and I am convinced that when he's right, it's coincidence.
A guess.
It's a guess. He's almost. I don't know how he has managed to foster an audience on Patreon where they give him money to basically just give people one-line rumors that he makes up. But that's literally what he does.
Not even a full line. Sometimes it's not even a full sentence.
Yeah,
it's like Johnny Depp replaced by black woman. That's.
Bro, we signed up to his Patreon to see what was going on in there, and we were shocked. We're like, wait, people are paying for a little text notepad with 3 words on it every couple days? It's so weird. I mean, listen, it's hard for me to be mad at him. Like, don't hate the player, hate the game. But like the people signing up for his stuff are just they are so bamboozled by this guy. It's crazy. We used to have a segment where we just did Fake News Friday, and like 98% of the stories came from him and GFR. And guess what? We're batting 1,000 on calling them fake. You can go back and look up our old Fake News Fridays, and not a single one of those things that we called fake ever actually were not fake. He's completely full of it. In every way, that dude is completely full of it, and GFR is a joke.
Okay. Feel better now?
A little bit.
Okay, well let's talk about what happened. So basically, that was the initial rumor, but in reality, what this person is saying she's being considered for, and what we're hearing is that through these rumors is that she's the type of character being considered to play this other character, and it's not a replacement of Johnny Depp's character. It's actually another pirate,
Anne Bonny.
Anne Bonny. Anne Bonny was a redheaded pirate, female pirate.
Irish.
It is a historical pirate, so to speak. And of course, what you can believe is that they would, instead of having a redheaded pirate woman, replacing her with a black woman, because that's what they do with redheads in Hollywood. And listen, that's not a conspiracy theory.
It's not.
It just is fact.
It's fact.
Okay, it is fact at this point.
Yeah, listen, it's 100% fact that for some reason they are just replacing wide swaths of anyone that was ever redheaded in a TV show, like in a comic book or TV show, whatever. It's crazy. Or even in history. In history.
I think there's a reason why.
I would love to know why.
There's a reason why. I think there's a reason why. I think there are just not a ton of redheaded actors out there, actors and actresses that are good, right? Necessarily. Not saying they're not all bad, but I'm just saying there's so many characters with red hair that these executives think, well, we're not going to find enough of these people. So who can we replace them with? Oh, this is a perfect way to do our diversity hires. Perfect. Because we don't have a ton of redheaded people. We'll just put some, African-American people in there.
Have you ever heard of a wig, dude?
No, that doesn't work.
Red hair, like,
I'm sorry. I don't like it when people do the wigs in the movies, and I don't know. Sometimes
dye their hair. Like I mean, some of these are an absolute
red hair dye. Red dye is not good.
Well, for instance, the guy playing Jimmy Olsen right now in Superman Legacy, I don't think he has natural red hair, right? He probably has light brown hair. But look who they got for Supergirl. It was just a black dude with a bald black guy.
For Supergirl?
For Supergirl, yeah. For Supergirl.
Okay. Well, I mean, like I said, it's an opportunity for them to practice their diversity hires, and they figure there's, they can justify it because there's not enough good redheaded actors out there. That's it. I mean, that's my theory. I don't know for sure, but I believe like that's how they would reason through this shit in order for this to be the case. And now it seems to be just the way they do business.
I feel a little robbed because, like, if you actually had like a hot redhead sort of promiscuous pirate, that would definitely get me into the theaters. I'll tell you right now, it would get me into the theaters. But I'm sorry, Ayo Elderberry is not cutting it for me. Doesn't fit the Anne Bonny role at all.
Listen, Emma Stone can only be in so many movies, man. Okay, listen, the girl can only be in so many places. All right, give her a break.
True. All I'm saying is like there definitely could have been if this is true, if she is actually I actually believe it's probably possible. It just sucks because there are people that would have loved to have seen this character on screen. It would have been awesome. There's some weird, and I'm sorry, weird is not the right term.
I was like, where are you going with this?
I'm not gonna say weird. I'm gonna say people that I don't fully understand who are extreme fans of pirates and pirate history and legacy and lore. And I think that those fans are going to be pretty upset and I'm not going to call pirates a movie, I'm about actual pirates, when they find out like this legendary female captain, who people dress up as in cosplay is going to be played by this. People are not going to be happy.
Well, get ready for it because that is exactly something Disney would do. And honestly, so this doesn't surprise me. And like, if I was going to pick a rumor, like this is a good one because this is like the rumors that are really good are the ones that are kind of believable. And you could totally see Disney doing this, but I would urge you to not necessarily believe that this one is true because, it's just the sources aren't great. So that's what I got.
Yeah. This took me down an interesting path of the Netflix race swapping posters, the fake posters people make.
Mm-hmm.
Really funny stuff. This is probably my favorite right here. Tom Hanks as MLK.
Why not? Yeah, you do it.
Ryan Gosling is George Floyd. From Malcolm X, Michael Phelps. There was one that was like the history of polar bears, but the picture just said black bears.
A black bear, yeah. Well, I mean, race swapping is ridiculous. I mean, that's it's just so stupid. Like, there's so many people out there. Let's just stick to what's common sense and reasonable, and what's the point of race swapping? There's only one point to race swap. Only one point.
Right.
To make a point. That's it. To make a point. Otherwise, there's no point in doing it. There's plenty actors. There's enough great black actors out there. There's enough great white actors out there. There's enough great Asian actors out there, Latin, all of them out there. There's enough of them to fill any damn role you need to fill for any culture or any situation. You don't need to race swap anybody for anything.
No, you don't. And that's well said.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to the weekly weird before the membership. So just one last story before we go to members. If you're not a member, consider becoming a member today.
Oh, we do. Before we do that, we do need to talk about the Disney Epic Games.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, the Disney Epic Games thing is pretty nuts. Oh man, the Warner Brothers thing too. I almost forgot about that. I guess that's a passing thing. All right.
Yeah.
Let's go on the Epic Games thing.
In the link that I gave you, there's a video down towards the middle, which you'll want to play because it kind of shows what they're planning.
Okay.
For this.
That's the Walt Disney. Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I clicked on the Valentine's Day one. Sorry. Shayna's sending me flowers.
No, I'm not.
No, he's not.
I should probably send my mom flowers though.
It keeps giving me the Valentine's Day link. What link did you give?
I don't know. Let's give you the other one.
All right, I got it. I just Googled it. Here we go.
Okay.
Disney and Epic Games to create expensive and open games and entertainment universe connected to Fortnite.
So basically, Disney came out with an announcement yesterday. Disney actually had their quarterly shareholder meeting that talked about, earnings and what their plans are moving forward. And of course, if you guys have been following Disney at all, then you know that their stocks have been in the dumps. Terrible, terrible stock to own, as Brian and I both attest. And so that's we have held for several years now, as it's been terrible. But today, the stock took a huge jump, going from $99 a share all the way to $110 a share, which was nice to see. And the reason why is because of this announcement. Not only did Disney announce essentially that its disastrous post-COVID streaming numbers had started to recover somewhat, although I question whether or not that's true or just money fudging. I tend to believe it's a little bit of money fudging, but they did show an improvement to their streaming numbers as well as their park numbers. And they actually showed an earnings report of profit as opposed to a loss, which they'd been reporting. But one of the important things that Bob Iger mentioned during this call was the new partnership between Disney and Epic Games. And if you know who Epic Games are, then either you or your kid plays Fortnite, because that who is the maker of Fortnite is Epic Games. And Disney is now invested in them $1.5 billion. They're also going to be a small investor in Epic Games, as well as create an expansive and open universe for Disney created by Epic Games. Brian, tell me what you think about this.
I think that it's good that the stock price is going up.
As stockholders, yes.
As stockholders who have an average buy-in of $122, I would definitely like it if the stock price went at least beyond that, so
above
I can
that. Yeah.
Above that, so I can get the F out.
Not a long-term investor anymore. Okay.
I mean, my plan was to keep Disney and then give it to my kids at some point, but then it went lower than it should ever have gone, and I just don't trust it anymore.
Oh yeah, Brian, Disney ripped themselves from your hands and then gave themselves to your kids. That's what happened. They just ripped themselves from you.
Right.
Embrace the new generation of LGBTQ young kids.
Oh God. But the whole Epic Games things, my kids are going to be all about it. My kids are Fortnite players, like hardcore. One is very, very good at the game, has an extremely high rank, and she lords that over her twin sister, who is what you would call a filthy casual.
Okay.
Who still has a hard time, spawning in the right place. But she has a good time doing it because she doesn't care about rank. And so one of them, I have twins. One of them plays at the highest possible level she can, and she's frustrated that she has to deal with her noob sister. And the other one is just basically a target for my other daughter to shoot at. So they're gonna love this because this expands their favorite game.
Well, it's not an expansion of Fortnite.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what's happening here. It's a new game, totally.
Right. So in the same way, when you go, Red Dead Redemption and Grand Theft Auto are not expansions of each other, but because they're made by the same game, they have the same, mechanics.
Mechanics, right?
Same style. So this will be in some ways an expansion of what they already love, because now there'll be another thing for them to play with that shares similar mechanics, graphics, and styles.
Okay.
So
what they said here specifically was that our exciting new relationship with Epic Games will bring together Disney's beloved brands and franchises with a hugely popular Fortnite in a transformational new game and entertainment universe. So I think you're right as far as the using the mechanics that Fortnite does. Disney is going to somehow embrace that. And
why wouldn't you? Fortnite is one of the most popular games, one of the most profitable games of all time. There's no reason for you to not copy that exact mechanics. I gotta tell you, remember there was a lot of Disney stuff in Free Guide, so just make a Free Guide and call it a day.
Let's check out the video that they put on the website.
Here it is.
Discover a place where magic is epic.
My kids are gonna lose their minds over this.
Okay. Well, it looks pretty interesting. So one of the things that they want to do is they want to give people access to Disney in a different way. So one of their goals are not only are they going to create this world where you can go in and like explore the Disney universes, but they also want to give people access to the Disney stores through these universes and also Disney Plus. So they're trying to bring together, right now, in order to go to the Disney stores, you got to go to one of those locations. They're trying to make it so that you can shop inside of here in the Disney stores.
No, I know. And they're going to sell skins. They're going to sell skins, which are just digital ones and zeros, nothing physical about it.
Right.
They're going to make so much bloody money off of you being able to customize the color of Darth Vader's lightsaber. I guarantee you, this is going to make so much money. Because you know what my kids, you know what their biggest ask for me every birthday, every holiday is V-Bucks. All they ever want is the ability to customize their characters. My kid is building a library of various characters from, I think she has a Deadpool type character, a couple X-Men characters. She just loves these characters. And she wants to buy the skins and she wants to customize the skins. Bro, Disney has a massive 100-year library of these characters and skins. Like, dude, this is going to be nuts.
It's a good point. Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to watch it unfold. I think if they're going to partner with somebody, Epic Games is a good company to partner with. I mean, there's a reason why the stock jumped today. This is a positive movement, and it's a way to bring a lot more cash flow, not only because of the Disney universe and game, but because they bought into Epic Games. And that means that even going forward, let's say Epic Games does a Disney universe, but then let's say Epic Games decides to go do Fortnite 2 or Fortnite 2030. Right, Disney's going to get a piece of that too. So that's part of why this is such a popular move.
Wild. Okay. Well, let us know what you guys think about this. All right, moving on. All right, so once again, we're going to do Weekly Weird, then we're going to jump right into the members section. So if you're not a member, hit the members button below and become a member today. You are the reason why we get to do this. Let's get weird. Ready, Shane?
Oh, yeah. I love getting weird with you.
Let's get weird.
Get out your tinfoil hats, you weirdos.
All right, you guys hear about this Apple Vision Plus? Have you heard of it, Shane? Or Apple Vision Pro?
Oh, yeah. I was happy to invest in the Meta before the Oculus got big, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah, but did you invest in Apple?
Screw Apple.
Okay. So Apple
$1,000. Screw Apple.
It's $3,000. Yeah, Apple dropped something called the Apple Vision Pro. If you haven't heard of it, then you might legitimately be living, completely disconnected from the internet. The Apple Vision Pro is basically like an Oculus. It's a VR headset. Okay, This VR headset is, miles ahead of the competition when it comes to VR and AR. It allows you to see through into the real world and interact with the real world. I could be sitting in here I'm never going to buy this giant paperweight, but I could be sitting in here and I can, I have 5 screens. So instead of having 5 screens, I can just have virtual screens and I can do my work virtually, right? I can talk to Shane virtually. And one of these weird, sort of messed up avatars that look like PS2 skinny versions of us. We can have conversations. Now that it's come out,
skinny versions of us,
because for some reason all the avatars are really skinny, sort of like bad graphics, uncanny valley versions of people. It's like the characters in the back of these movies where the artist didn't take a whole lot of time to fill in all the facial stuff because they're background characters. That's what every one of the Vision Pro characters look like. So this thing comes out and people get to test it. The testers get it. And now it's becoming more and more available to the wider public. This is what happens. You give people a VR headset that has such extremely accurate and advanced AR capabilities. And AR is augmented reality, where you in your space can see things, interact with things while being able to see the real world. So you can essentially you can go on a jog with your your Vision Pros. And while you're jogging, you can see, unicorns, running alongside you or whatever, right? So this thing comes out and people start to, of course, wear it in the real world, and it gets nuts. And this is what first turned me on to this, because I saw this article that said Tesla owners told not to wear Apple virtual reality headsets while driving.
Well, no, I want to know why not, because, yeah, go ahead.
Right.
Seems reasonable to me, actually.
So Tesla owners have been reminded to keep their eyes on the road after videos of drivers wearing Apple's virtual reality headset has gone viral. And this is when I was like, wait a minute, I need to see that. So I found it. I found a quick compilation, and there's a lot of these, and I'm not going to show all of them, but there's a lot of these people out there. So imagine you're in the regular world and you see something like this. This guy on the park bench, just having a conversation, working. Oh, but it gets better, Shane. Don't worry. Guy in the subway, he's literally typing. He's typing right now.
That's awesome.
Right? It gets better. Guy is at the gym working out. Guys, courtyard. He's court seats at an NBA game. How about this guy driving a Cybertruck? And this is the most 2024 thing ever. There's a guy in a Cybertruck with the headset on, working while the Cybertruck drives him.
This is the point, isn't it? Like, I don't see how this is weird. That's exactly what you should be doing.
You should not do the AR. Like, there is still a latency issue, right? This is clearly unsafe. Like, you cannot be driving with this headset on. It's not perfect.
Well, he's not driving though. He's not.
Beautiful.
He's not supposed to be driving, right? The car's driving. Right? Isn't that the whole point of the Tesla? This would be me 100%. 100% it would be me.
Listen,
I'm like, I get two things done at once.
You have to still pay attention, right? You can't just
Do you?
I mean,
what?
yes.
You got to stop the car from going off the road?
Bro,
I mean, I haven't done it yet, so I don't know, but I'm assuming that the car just drives itself, right?
It's so weird. And I saw this the other day. I was at the grocery store, and there's this dude with it looked like snow goggles on, he's pushing a shopping cart, and he's taking things off but he's doing it in a way that's delayed. We're all right, so imagine this. I'm something's here. I'm
okay.
He's not sure of his actions. He's like he spent too much time in these goggles, and even though he can see the orange, it's still not 100% for him. They look like children learning to do things for the first time. It's so weird.
Yeah, no, it's true. Now my son has the Oculus 3, right? And so he just ever takes it off. He just always has it on.
Really?
He runs up and down the stairs with it on. I wonder if he's going to crash.
Does it have AR?
Yeah, you can see everything. You just walk around, make dinner or whatever.
Really?
You can go to Starbucks, order food. You got the menu up in your little goggles there, and you talk to the person. Yeah.
But so is it good pass through where you can actually see the world?
No problem walking around. Yeah.
Oh, that's wild.
But I don't know about these Apple ones.
No, these Apple ones are even more advanced. Another thing that's crazy about these too, and a lot of people haven't been talking about this, is in order for other people to be comfortable with the fact that you're wearing these giant goggles on your head, they have a digital representation of your eyes, right? So it takes a picture, it's videoing your eyes on one side and then displaying it on the front screen, and it's so creepy. It's these eyes that are just blinking at a really when you blink, you're not blinking at the same exact rate every time, but these eyes are
where are the eyes at?
They're on the front, the front of the goggles.
You're on the front of the goggles?
Yeah, so that people can see.
So it's not for you; it's for other people looking at you.
Right. Right. They're weird. Right here. Here. Right. Look. There it is. Those are not her real eyes. Those are that's videoing your eyes and then displaying the video. But because it's a digital representation, like it blinks. It doesn't blink when you blink. It blinks at like what it seems is like a natural rate, but it's
totally
not
unnecessary.
It
It
is
is
so
totally
unnecessary.
unnecessary.
So unnecessary.
It is so the person who just bought the thing, it does nothing for them. That is so dumb. If you want to fake out your teacher at school, say, "Oh no, I went to the snow. I just can't take these off right now." I don't
Yeah,
know, maybe.
Drew D is a good point. I'd rather just look at black goggles. I don't want to see your weird disconnected eyes. Yeah, it's real weird. This whole thing. I mean, I want to try them, but I'm not going to spend $3,200 or whatever to buy them. That's crazy to me. But you know, everything Apple. And to be fair, Apple is
no. Get the Oculus Quest 3 for like whatever it is,
$300,
$500. Yeah,
$300. Yeah.
Don't get Apple. Trust me, because I'm invested in Meta. So only buy the Oculus 3.
Yeah, the thing about these goggles too is like, thing about the Apples that's good for Apple is this the first product where they immediately went straight to a Pro version. Like they didn't soft release anything; they just went straight to Pro, which is wild to me. And it looks like we lost Shane. All right, so that's the Weekly Weird. I'll attempt to get Shane back somehow, and we're gonna go to the members section. So listen, if you're not a member, please consider becoming a member. I'm going to get Shane back, and we're going to go to the members section where we're going to talk to you guys and hang out. Oh, wait, we have a super chat. I need to make sure I get that. Thank you, John. John Burns for $6.99 says, okay, so Elon Musk buys Disney, and I show up with my 2 henchmen, and we advise him to make seasons 4 or 5 of Dark Matter. You guys up for it? Yeah, of course. Yeah, I just want one more season of Dark Matter. Just finish the story. Plus, I think Joseph Malazzi is deserving of that. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, so Shane went to go get his goggles. We're going to go to the members section. Hope you guys... Oh, wait, is there another chat? That's right. Let me check the other chat. Thank you for reminding me, guys. 1 second. We have 2 streams going. We have the Prime member stream and then this one. Let me check that members. I apologize. I need to get better at making sure I have both windows up. 5 screens is not enough screens. Yes, I will have that one up too. And Kenneth Rook is a member for 33 months over there. That's crazy, bro. Okay, so we will go over those chats in addition to the chats here. You can be a part of whatever chat you want, but I will have both of them on screen. All right, guys, we are going to the members section. Please join us over there by hitting the join button below. And if not, that's cool. We'll see you guys on Monday at 10 a.m.
Nothing is impossible. Just do it. Do it. Just do it. Yes, you